21 Black celebrities who were the worst wife beaters in history. Eddie Kendricks, George McCrae, Johnny Taylor are genuinely shocking names deeply associated with unforgettable musical legends and cultural milestones. You will be absolutely stunned when you hear the heartbreaking stories about the darkest, most hidden corners of their strictly private lives. These are the shocking revelations that left the entire nation of America in a state of sheer disbelief. The fifth figure on our list today will leave you completely unable to believe your ears. We are our Memory Vault, your dedicated companion guiding you through this revealing video. If there are any specific details you would like to contribute or correct, please do not hesitate to leave a comment down below so that we can continue to improve and perfect our content every single day. Please do not forget to press the subscribe button, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell so that you can always be among the very first to welcome our newest video releases right now. Let us begin immediately with the first remarkable figures on our list. Eddie Kendricks. Eddie Kendricks was not just an ordinary artist. He was the absolute embodiment of classic soul music, possessing a mesmerizing and angelic falsetto voice that captivated audiences worldwide. As a founding member of the legendary vocal group The Temptations, Kendricks played a monumental role in shaping the iconic Motown sound with immortal timeless hits such as My Girl and Just My Imagination. With his elegant, sophisticated demeanor and top-tier vocal techniques, he propelled his musical group to the ultimate pinnacle of glory, securing numerous prestigious awards and earning a highly coveted induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. His illustrious career stands as a brilliant symbol of relentless perseverance and transcendent musical talent that easily defies the passage of time, ultimately creating a massive, enduring musical legacy that continues to inspire an entire generation of devoted listeners. However hidden far behind the glamorous spotlight of the grand stage, Kendricks's marital life painted a deeply troubling picture, heavily saturated with unfortunate incidents and silent, lingering conflicts. During a period severely marked by financial crises and the overwhelming pressures of an impending divorce, he was no longer the calm, composed artist the public adored. Archival records indicate that he engaged in highly negative and controlling behaviors toward his wife, which included exerting tremendous pressure to force her into signing profoundly unfair property division agreements. The situation escalated during moments of unchecked frustration, pushing his life partner into highly vulnerable circumstances where she was entirely isolated from any form of outside assistance. This tragic transformation from a beloved romantic icon into a figure associated with severe domestic mistreatment completely shattered his flawless image in the devoted hearts of his countless fans. From the thoughtful perspective of our Memory Vault, we firmly believe that this serves as a deeply saddening testament to how the blinding light of immense fame can unfortunately mask profound moral decay. The fact that such a great, revered artist would utilize his vast power and financial resources to control a loved one is a very costly lesson in human deterioration. We absolutely do not excuse or justify any actions that cause harm to women, because ultimately the true value of a human being does not reside in selling millions of records, but rather in how compassionately they treat the people who love them the most. The story of Kendricks acts as a sobering reminder that we must always evaluate an artist through two distinct lenses: their artistic brilliance and their personal integrity. George McCrae. George McCrae was once a massive global phenomenon in the vibrant 1970s, famously known for the classic disco smash hit, Rock Your Baby. His illustrious musical journey did not simply stop there. It marked a crucially important milestone in popularizing the infectious disco genre across the entire globe. Boasting a uniquely distinctive tenor voice and forming a perfectly harmonious partnership with his wife, Gwen McCrae, they swiftly became the ultimate power couple of the soul music scene during that unforgettable golden era. Their consistently sold-out concert tours and the overwhelming adoration from millions of passionate spectators firmly established his permanent status as a shining superstar. McCrae is fondly remembered by older generations as an entertainer who brought immense joy, sheer excitement, and endless nights of dancing to energetic discotheques all over the world. Despite their incredible soaring success on the grand stage, the marriage between George and Gwen was actually a persistent, exhausting battle, heavily defined by professional rivalry and monumentally inflated egos. Hidden securely behind those seemingly sweet collaborative performances, McCrae left deep emotional and physical scars that affected not only his wife's physical well-being, but also deeply wounded her fragile soul. His intense professional jealousy specifically triggered when Gwen gradually achieved a higher level of individual fame, tragically mutated a once loving husband into an intensely controlling and extreme figure. Their frequent disagreements did not merely end at harsh words. They escalated into severe mistreatment right behind the closed doors of the backstage areas. He left the public utterly stunned when the devastating truths about his completely disrespectful treatment of his life partner were exposed, notably forcing his wife to heavily apply stage makeup to conceal her visible distress before stepping out to perform for thousands of cheering fans. The firm perspective of the Our Memory Vault channel regarding the tragic case of McCrae is a profound and unyielding critique of deeply ingrained patriarchal dominance. We passionately believe that there is absolutely no justifiable reason, whether it be immense occupational pressure or intense competition for public recognition, that can ever legitimize the unacceptable behavior of degrading and harming a woman. It is truly astonishing and heartbreaking to witness how a couple so universally beloved by the admiring public could secretly live in such a profoundly hostile and resentful environment. Through recounting this specific historical event, we wish to strongly emphasize that public fame is merely a superficial, glittering shell, whereas the sustainable true value of any genuine star must fundamentally rely upon mutual understanding, deep compassion, and unwavering respect within the sacred walls of their very own home. Johnny Taylor. Johnny Taylor remains an absolute, undeniable legend of the soul music genre, affectionately known to his vast legions of fans by the distinguished moniker, the Philosopher of Soul. He possessed a wonderfully refined performance style and a profoundly heavy, deeply resonant vocal tone that he masterfully showcased through chart-topping hit songs such as Who's Making Love. Throughout a remarkably enduring career that successfully spanned multiple decades, Taylor reaped spectacular, resounding triumphs across both the competitive R&B and mainstream pop music charts. His towering career was not merely a collection of entertaining songs, but rather a profound compilation of life philosophies and romantic wisdom elegantly conveyed through the medium of music. For a very long time, Taylor was regarded as the quintessential model of an elegant gentleman, a steadfast artist who always maintained his prestigious position amidst the constant, unpredictable transformations of the American musical landscape. However, everything dramatically changed when his immense fame eventually began to plateau and his mounting paranoia regarding the potential loss of his elite status caused Taylor to become highly dictatorial and oppressive within his marriage. His marital union with Corinne was certainly not the beautiful, flawless fairy tale that the general public always imagined it to be. Taylor aggressively utilized the immense weight of his celebrity status to confine his wife within what can only be described as a gilded cage. When his desperate wife courageously attempted to seek a safe way out of the suffocating situation, he resorted to incredibly extreme and highly alarming measures. A deeply shocking public scandal occurred when he directly threatened the safety and well-being of his wife, a truly callous act of intimidation that is incredibly difficult for anyone to forgive. The subsequent court documents and legal records thoroughly exposed a suffocating domestic life, a sad place where obsessive possessiveness completely overshadowed any remaining traces of genuine affection, ultimately leading to an irreconcilable and devastating collapse of their union. From the dedicated perspective of Our Memory Vault, we view the tragic downfall of Johnny Taylor as the inevitable, deeply unfortunate consequence of losing control over one's behavior when a massive ego is severely bruised. It is genuinely difficult to believe that a man who spent his life singing so beautifully about love could be so incredibly callous toward his own life partner. We firmly maintain that when fame transforms into a dangerous sort of religion that compels individuals to trample upon the well-being of others just to maintain their status, it marks the definitive beginning of total moral collapse. Taylor's severely belated regrets, which surfaced only after his once glorious career had completely dissolved into thin air, serve as a powerful testament to the universal truth that all wrongdoings will eventually meet their justified consequences through the ultimate judgment of justice and public opinion. Charles White. Charles White was a bona fide superstar of American football, a man who permanently etched his illustrious name into the history books by winning the highly prestigious and universally coveted Heisman Trophy. Endowed with astonishing explosive acceleration and an undeniable, overwhelming physical power on the green turf, he once served as the ultimate beacon of hope for millions of passionate cheering fans. White's remarkable athletic career stands as a towering symbol of unbreakable resilience and an exceptionally rare God-given talent, effectively establishing him as one of the absolutely greatest athletes ever to emerge from the University of Southern California. The monumental achievements he managed to secure helped him build an incredibly solid, unshakable foundation within the highly competitive realm of professional sports, while also earning him countless words of high praise from strict sports analysts and the mainstream media alike. Tragically, however, the personal life of Charles White steadily slid into a prolonged series of incredibly dark and disheartening days due to the overwhelming temptations of harmful illicit substances. The severe, uncontrollable episodes of erratic behavior that followed his substance use completely transformed a once powerful and disciplined athlete into someone who inflicted deep distress upon the people closest to him. His wife, Judy, was forced to live in a constant state of profound apprehension, having to regularly confront his highly unpredictable and terrifying outbursts of anger. The tragic situation reached a devastating peak during an incident where he exhibited severe hostility toward his wife, resulting in serious and lasting harm to her well-being. These deeply unfortunate actions not only completely devastated the peaceful life of his devoted wife, but also marked the definitive tragic conclusion to his own once illustrious sporting career. The troubling truth was initially buried beneath significant sums of money and strict confidentiality agreements, but eventually, reality had to be brought into the glaring light, causing him to lose absolutely everything he had worked for. For the dedicated team here at our Memory Vault, the story of Charles White represents a truly heartbreaking tragedy regarding the profound loss of one's true self. We steadfastly believe that natural talent can never, under any circumstances, serve as a protective shield for mistakes that stem from a fundamental lack of moral character. The heavy reliance on harmful substances might be a contributing factor, but engaging in severely harmful behavior toward others ultimately remains a conscious personal choice that simply cannot be blamed on external circumstances. It is our sincerest hope that his monumental public downfall serves as a stern, unyielding warning to absolutely anyone currently standing at the very peak of fame and success. Supreme arrogance and a total loss of self-control will inevitably lead you straight into an abyssal void from which no amount of past glory or public adoration can ever pull you back. Michael Dokes. Michael Dokes was once a highly formidable name that genuinely forced the entire world of heavyweight boxing to stand back and take notice throughout the dynamic decades of the 1980s and 1990s. Armed with exceptional agility and an overwhelmingly dominant physical strength, he successfully captured the highly prestigious title of heavyweight champion of the world, firmly cementing his status as one of the premier fighters of his generation. The professional journey of Dokes was an incredible saga of pure determination, featuring incredibly intense, fiery matchups and spectacularly resounding victories that deeply thrilled the hearts of dedicated fans everywhere. He was widely regarded by sports experts as a fighter brimming with endless potential, a seemingly unstoppable champion, fully capable of completely dominating the boxing ring for an extended period of time. His remarkable athletic accomplishments were the absolute pride of the global martial arts community and left a profound, indelible mark in the passionate hearts of sports enthusiasts all over the world. In stark, deeply troubling contrast to his absolute peak performance inside the professional boxing ring, The deeply private personal life of Michael Dokes was a continuous dark series of days, tragically characterized by severe mistreatment and deeply regrettable actions. Dokes shockingly utilized the exact same immense physical power required of a professional fighter to treat his romantic partner as though she were nothing more than a defenseless opponent in a brutal arena. The deeply distressing incidents of severe domestic hostility, which prolonged for many agonizing hours, became an unforgettable, haunting nightmare for the unfortunate woman involved. The judicial system was ultimately forced to implement incredibly strict legal measures to heavily penalize his profoundly unacceptable behavior. This particular case caused a massive shockwave not merely within the confined athletic community, but reverberated loudly across the entirety of the United States, primarily due to the chillingly cold and deliberate nature of the harm that a globally recognized champion could inflict inside the supposed safety of his very own home. The dedicated team at our memory vault feels a profound sense of outrage over the deeply disturbing manner in which Dokes chose to apply his highly refined martial arts skills toward such an incredibly inhumane and devastating purpose. We firmly maintain that utilizing the very strength intended for honorable professional competition to inflict severe distress upon a vulnerable woman represents the ultimate disgrace to the noble spirit of sportsmanship. The deeply lonely and isolated conclusion to the life of Dokes serves as a powerful, undeniable affirmation that no matter how physically powerful you may be inside a competitive arena, you will inevitably face the harsh rejection and disdain of society if you choose to turn your back on fundamental human decency. This remains a remarkably dark, highly regrettable chapter that the extensive history of professional boxing certainly never wishes to recall with any sense of pride or admiration. Mercury Morris. Mercury Morris was once celebrated as one of the absolute brightest and most electrifying stars in the entire realm of American football, leaving a profoundly deep impression with his spectacular, breathtaking accelerations on the competitive turf. He served as an indispensable core element that significantly contributed to the legendary historic winning streaks and the miraculous undefeated seasons of the renowned Miami Dolphins franchise throughout the unforgettable 1970s, boasting an astonishing, almost unbelievable running speed and an acute tactical sharpness in every single play. Morris successfully conquered the passionate hearts of millions of devoted sports fans. His illustrious career stands as a shining symbol, representing the ultimate pinnacle of dedicated professional athletic endeavor, effectively elevating his distinguished name into the elite ranks of sports legends who are deeply revered at massive stadiums all across the United States. However, the private life of Morris, once he stepped away from the blinding, glorious lights of the massive sports arenas, tragically slid into a prolonged sequence of incredibly dark and deeply troubling days, largely driven by severe psychological pressures and the devastating use of illicit substances. The profoundly negative transformation in his lifestyle completely morphed a highly praised, deeply respected athlete into a totally unrecognizable individual within the highly confidential enclosed space of his family home. The deeply entrenched, unresolvable domestic conflicts inevitably led to highly extreme, fundamentally uncontrolled behaviors directed entirely toward his vulnerable life partner. The highly distressing situation was only fully exposed to the public eye following a necessary intervention by law enforcement authorities, ultimately pulling back the curtain to reveal a brutally harsh reality regarding the total moral collapse of a once beloved sports idol who unfortunately could no longer maintain any semblance of healthy balance in his personal life. From the thoughtful perspective of the Our Memory Vault team, the heartbreaking story of Mercury Morris delivers a profoundly deep and essential lesson concerning the tragic deterioration that occurs when a human being completely loses their willpower and self-control. We steadfastly believe that monumental glory achieved on the playing field can never truly protect anyone from the dangerous temptations and the total destruction caused by a reckless, undisciplined lifestyle. It is a matter of profound regret when such a massive, undeniable talent leaves behind an indelible dark stain on their deeply personal legacy. This spectacular downfall serves as a loud, persistent reminder that the true lasting value of any human being is ultimately measured by their moral compass and exactly how they choose to treat their family members, rather than simply being defined by a collection of shiny, prestigious trophies. Mitch Green. Mitch Green was once a heavyweight boxer, brimming with immense raw potential, becoming highly renowned during the absolute golden era of the global boxing landscape in the vibrant 1980s. Endowed with a massively muscular physique and an incredibly fierce, relentless fighting style, Green steadily asserted his prominent name through a series of deeply intense, fiery matches in major boxing arenas, bravely facing off against some of the most illustrious and feared names of that specific time period. His remarkable physical resilience and extraordinary ability to endure heavy strikes helped him securely establish a significant, highly respected position in the hearts of those who truly loved and followed this demanding sport. His life as a dedicated fighter was a deeply inspiring journey of immense aspiration, rising from severely impoverished neighborhoods to ultimately touch the blinding, glorious light of top-tier professional athletic success. Even though he reaped certain undeniable and highly celebrated successes inside the challenging boxing ring, the private family life of Mitch Green was tragically submerged in severe psychological instability and the profoundly destructive abuse of highly addictive substances. The immense, crushing pressures stemming from accumulated physical sports injuries, combined seamlessly with a highly impulsive and reckless lifestyle, completely transformed his living space into an environment characterized by overwhelming tension and extreme distress for his deeply loved ones. The tragic situation reached its absolute peak during highly irreconcilable conflicts, which sadly resulted in deeply extreme and harmful behaviors occurring right in front of his very own young children. This profoundly disturbing sequence of events inevitably attracted the direct attention of law enforcement agencies and the mainstream press, officially placing a permanent, devastating end to the once proud image of a man who was supposed to be the reliable pillar of his family. The dedicated team at our Memory Vault observes that the unfortunate case of Mitch Green clearly and vividly reflects the incredibly deep psychological scars that athletes involved in intense combat sports frequently have to endure. However, we must strongly emphasize that the inherent difficulties stemming from a demanding profession can absolutely never serve as an acceptable or adequate excuse for demonstrating severely substandard and harmful behaviors inside one's private home. We firmly believe that the tragic lack of adequate proper attention to mental health care has unfortunately pushed many bright stars into the inescapable dead end of moral degradation. The profoundly sad story of Green serves as a blaring alarm bell, reminding everyone of the absolute necessity to carefully build a healthy, sustainable lifestyle and to learn how to properly manage deep personal emotions after leaving behind the brilliant, blinding lights of the grand public stage. Matthew Saad Muhammad. Matthew Saad Muhammad was once universally revered as a living, breathing legend within the highly competitive world of global boxing, famously recognized for holding the prestigious title of World Boxing Council Light Heavyweight Champion. He effortlessly conquered global audiences through his incredibly resilient fighting style, his miraculous, breathtaking ability to stage dramatic comebacks, and his unyielding, indomitable competitive spirit that simply refused to ever step back in defeat. The life of Muhammad is a massively inspiring, deeply moving narrative about a young, disadvantaged orphan who miraculously rose above his circumstances to become an absolute pinnacle star in the realm of professional sports. His truly illustrious, deeply celebrated career brought immeasurable, boundless pride to millions of devoted fans, leaving a profoundly deep, unforgettable mark in the extensive history of modern competitive martial arts. Despite being incredibly strong and unwaveringly resilient in the face of absolutely every opponent inside the boxing ring, the deeply private personal life of Muhammad unfortunately suffered from profound, lingering damage due to deep psychological trauma and severe physical decline following many grueling years of peak competition. These continuously compounding crises tragically caused him to fall into a state of severe mental breakdown, which directly and negatively impacted the way he behaved within his most intimate family relationships. The deeply unfortunate situation completely erupted when the highly disturbing secrets hidden safely behind securely closed doors were finally exposed to the harsh scrutiny of the public, causing a massive, widespread wave of shock and disbelief among all those who had once deeply admired him. The final twilight years of his life were tragically deeply associated with profound loneliness and a multitude of compounding hardships, slowly but surely fading the once glorious image of a truly legendary champion from times past. Analyzed from the careful perspective of our memory vault, the deeply moving story of Matthew Saad Muhammad carries a heavily tragic tone regarding the severe, unavoidable consequences of sports-related injuries that are unfortunately never thoroughly and properly treated. We deeply sympathize with the tremendous hardships and immense struggles he was forced to endure when his glorious light gradually faded away. But simultaneously, we remain absolutely resolute in strictly condemning any actions that bring profound harm and distress to loved ones. The tragic monumental collapse of such a revered sports icon vividly demonstrates the absolute undeniable importance of maintaining comprehensive healthcare, focusing equally on both physical well-being and mental stability. This stands as a highly expensive, invaluable lesson, proving that reaching the ultimate pinnacle of fame can never under any circumstances obscure or excuse one's fundamental human responsibilities in everyday, real-world life. Philippe Wynne. Philippe Wynne was an absolutely exceptional lead vocalist, a man who miraculously breathed vibrant life into the classic, unforgettable soul and funk melodies of the legendary musical group The Spinners throughout the culturally rich decade of the 1970s. Blessed with a wonderfully smooth, deeply emotional tenor voice and a highly magnetic, captivating performance style, he played a massive role in propelling a huge array of hit songs to the very top positions on international music charts. Wynne's spectacular career stands as a shining testament to an innate, God-given musical genius, bringing immense, unparalleled joy and emotional elevation to countless generations of passionate soul music lovers all across the globe. He was widely regarded by many as the absolute beating heart and soul of their brilliantly colorful and sonically magnificent live stage performances. Yet securely hidden behind those incredibly sweet, beautifully romantic melodies performed on the grand stage, the marital life of Philippe Wynne was tragically a deeply dark, intensely gloomy portrait filled to the brim with suffocating control and profoundly unhealthy obsessive jealousy. The immense crushing pressures stemming from his demanding singing career, coupled with an intense paralyzing fear of losing his prestigious status, unfortunately transformed him into a remarkably harsh and bitter individual toward his loyal longtime spouse. Their frequent domestic conflicts continuously escalated into highly oppressive behaviors, causing incredibly severe emotional and physical distress to his partner. This deeply troubling reality was only finally brought to the public's attention during subsequent highly publicized divorce proceedings, leaving the general public completely stunned and entirely bewildered by the absolute, stark contrast between his charming artistic persona and the profoundly disturbing reality of his actual behind-the-doors character. For the deeply observant team at our memory vault, the highly unfortunate case of Philippe Wynne serves as a profoundly heartbreaking reminder concerning the tragic degradation of human emotion within the glamorous, often superficial world of high entertainment. We steadfastly believe that possessing magnificent, monumental artistic talent does not in any way equate to possessing a rich, dignified moral character. It is incredibly, bitterly ironic that a man who dedicated his entire professional life to singing beautifully about the power of love could act with such extreme callousness and emotional coldness toward his very own life partner. This deeply tragic story firmly asserts that genuine, true art must always originate from fundamental kindness and decency in everyday life, and absolutely no beautiful melody or prestigious award can ever successfully conceal highly inappropriate, harmful behaviors hidden safely behind the closed doors of a family home. Benny Cunningham. Benny Cunningham was once an exceptionally outstanding American football player, a man who left a profoundly deep and lasting mark in the extensive history of the NFL league while playing the demanding tight end position for the legendary Pittsburgh Steelers franchise. Endowed with a massively superior physical build and highly intelligent tactical ball-playing skills, he bravely fought alongside his dedicated team to secure multiple prestigious Super Bowl championships during their absolute golden era of dominance. Cunningham was deeply respected and highly admired by both his loyal teammates and millions of fans, not solely for his undeniable talent on the grassy field, but also due to his quiet, humble, and steadfast contributions to the massive collective success of the entire organization. His truly remarkable sports career remains a massive source of pride, significantly helping to define a truly glorious and unforgettable era in the history of professional American football. However, the deeply private life, hidden securely behind the radiant halo of Benny Cunningham, unfortunately became deeply entangled in profoundly heartbreaking hidden corners related to severe, irreconcilable fractures within his family life. The immense, overwhelming tensions arising from a highly grueling, highly competitive sports environment, combined intimately with profound personal psychological pressures, tragically transformed a universally respected athlete into a husband who inflicted tremendous, lingering distress upon his life partner. The highly troubling incidents that occurred within the strict confines of their private space were cleverly and systematically concealed by utilizing extensive social connections and massive financial resources, all deliberately aimed at maintaining a flawless, completely perfect exterior facade for the admiring public. The harsh, undeniable truth only truly emerged into the light when deeply repressed, long-standing grievances were finally brought before the strict scrutiny of the legal system. From the thoughtful, analytical perspective of our memory vault, the deeply tragic story of Benny Cunningham clearly demonstrates the extreme fragility of the massive walls of fame that are often artificially erected merely to cover up deeply troubling internal family issues. We strongly maintain that continuing to tolerate or excuse highly inappropriate, harmful behaviors by leveraging immense power or vast financial wealth only serves to drastically deepen the profound pain experienced by the victims. Genuine, lasting respect must always be firmly built upon a foundation of absolute transparency and a fundamentally fair, deeply humane method of treating one another within the sacred bonds of a family. The ultimate, crucial lesson to be drawn from Cunningham's deeply complicated life is that absolutely no prestigious athletic achievement can ever erase or diminish the fundamental moral responsibilities that every single person must carefully preserve and uphold toward their dearly loved ones. Orange Juice Jones. Orange Juice Jones was once an incredibly prominent, shining R&B star who frequently dominated international music charts throughout the highly vibrant decade of the 1980s. Armed with a massive smash hit that featured a highly unique, captivating storytelling style, he rapidly managed to conquer the passionate hearts of a vast multitude of music lovers, thereby firmly asserting his own highly distinct, irreplaceable position within the highly competitive entertainment industry. His early professional career was genuinely the ultimate dream of countless young aspiring artists, primarily due to his incredibly catchy, memorable melodies and his carefully curated public image as a highly elegant, deeply modern male vocalist. These outstanding artistic achievements successfully brought him widespread, undeniable public recognition and a massive, fiercely loyal fan base spread extensively all across the United States. However, securely hidden, completely behind that massive, glittering wave of success was an incredibly inflated, overbearing ego and a highly turbulent lifestyle, heavily plagued by profound, baseless jealousy, particularly as his once blinding halo of fame inevitably began to slowly fade away. The massive, crushing pressures associated with desperately trying to maintain his fleeting popularity caused Oran to tragically slide into a dark pattern of highly extreme, deeply controlling behaviors directed specifically at his life partner. The deeply distressing situation forcefully pushed the underlying tensions to to an absolute breaking point when he engaged in profoundly unacceptable, deeply threatening actions occurring right in the middle of a highly visible public space. The subsequent massive exposure by the mainstream media delivered a brutally heavy, devastating blow to his once respected name, causing his entire musical career to enter a drastic, unstoppable freefall until it eventually sank entirely into deep, silent oblivion. From the deeply reflective viewpoint of our memory vault, the highly unfortunate case of Orange Juice Jones serves as a remarkably expensive, highly cautionary lesson regarding the absolute total destruction caused by deep-seated selfishness within romantic relationships. We firmly believe that the fundamental inability to gracefully accept the harsh reality of inevitable changes in one's personal and professional life tragically transformed a beloved artist into an individual who severely violated basic moral standards. A professional career may certainly wither and fade as time passes, but maintaining mutual respect remains the absolute undeniable core of any meaningful human connection. His profoundly regrettable actions serve as a stark, crystal-clear testament to the fact that public fame can absolutely never salvage or redeem a deeply flawed character that is rapidly sliding into the dark, blinding abyss of profoundly irrational, obsessive jealousy. Tyrone Davis. Tyrone Davis remains an absolute towering monument of the Southern soul and R&B music genres in the United States, incredibly famous for his deeply warm, highly resonant vocal tone and his immense, undeniable charisma showcased across a vast array of classic, timeless hit songs. Throughout a truly spectacular career that successfully spanned many long decades, he tirelessly dedicated himself to providing his devoted audiences with incredibly sweet, profoundly deep melodies that successfully touched the deepest emotions of millions of passionate fans. His remarkable perseverance, combined seamlessly with an innate God-given musical talent, enabled him to build an incredibly solid, unshakable foundation in the hearts of the general public, officially becoming a widely recognized symbol of musical romance and lasting success. The distinguished name of Tyrone was intimately associated with incredibly sublime, euphoric concert nights and highly sought-after best-selling musical albums. Yet the deeply private everyday life of Tyrone Davis shockingly harbored a profoundly dark hidden corner that stood in absolute complete contradiction to his glamorous, flashy exterior and the deeply romantic, loving lyrics he so beautifully delivered on the grand stage. The immense, exhausting pressures stemming from incredibly long, demanding tour schedules, coupled tragically with a lifestyle that heavily leaned toward the excessive abuse of alcohol, completely morphed him into an entirely different, highly volatile individual whenever he returned to the supposed safety of his own home. A continuous series of deeply troubling family conflicts frequently erupted, reaching a truly devastating climax with highly unfeeling, profoundly harsh, and deeply harmful behaviors directed specifically at his very own wife, who was pregnant at the time. The deeply shocking incident was carefully swept under the rug, using significant financial payoffs and strict unspoken agreements, but its massive lingering aftershocks permanently left an indelible, unwashable dark stain on the entire life and legacy of the famous male singer. Based entirely on the deeply considered perspective of the Our Memory Vault team, the profoundly sad story of Tyrone Davis vividly reflects a deeply serious moral decay hidden cleverly behind the glittering protective shell of massive public fame. We feel an immense, overwhelming sense of profound sorrow and profound pity for the unfortunate woman who was forced to endure such severe, heartbreaking injustice within the very walls of her own home. The deeply unethical act of using financial power to forcefully silence the court of public opinion can absolutely never successfully conceal the true dark nature of such profound personal failures. Through this deeply troubling narrative, we wish to strongly, unequivocally emphasize that true, genuine love and unwavering family responsibility will always remain the most accurate, reliable metrics for evaluating the true dignity of any human being, far surpassing any temporary fleeting glory found under the bright lights of a musical stage. Don Cavay. Don Cavay was a remarkably talented musician and singer, a highly influential figure who made incredibly important foundational contributions toward actively shaping the specific style and defining sound of modern R&B and soul music. His brilliant, highly innovative musical compositions not only brought massive, undeniable success to himself, but were also exceptionally well performed by numerous other revered legendary music icons. Driven by a seemingly endless, tireless well of creativity and a deeply burning, passionate love for musical melodies, Don successfully built a truly formidable, highly respected career, earning immense, profound critical acclaim from strict industry professionals and garnering the utmost, deepest respect from his entire community of fellow artists. He remains an absolutely indispensable foundational element of the truly golden era of black music in the United States. However, that immense God-given artistic talent tragically did not correspond with a highly principled or standardized personal life, particularly when he was inevitably forced to confront deeply frustrating creative blocks during his intensive artistic writing processes. The massive, overwhelming pressures stemming from his demanding work combined disastrously with the terrifying exhaustion of his creative ideas, tragically morphed his deep personal frustrations into profound, uncontrollable anger that was unfairly unleashed upon his loyal, longtime life partner. Various archived historical records and later released documentary materials exposed a brutally harsh, deeply upsetting reality regarding his severely uncontrolled, highly erratic behavior that occurred strictly behind firmly closed doors. Although his extensive, powerful network of relationships within the massive music industry assisted him in partially concealing the ugly truth, the incredibly deep psychological and physical distress he inflicted upon his wife remains an absolute, undeniable reality that simply cannot be disputed. The dedicated team at our Memory Vault strongly assesses that the highly unfortunate story of Don Covey serves as a highly typical, profoundly clear demonstration of the massive, crushing psychological pressures that older established artists frequently have to face. Nevertheless, we firmly and resolutely believe that artistic creativity can absolutely never, under any circumstances, serve as a free pass or a valid excuse for demonstrating deeply harmful, highly abusive behaviors within a family setting. The deeply unethical practice of utilizing money to completely erase legal traces merely exacerbates the profound pain experienced by the victim and explicitly demonstrates a severe, total lack of fundamental accountability before the law. The ultimate crucial lesson to be carefully drawn from his highly complex life is the absolute, undeniable necessity of knowing how to properly balance intense professional work with one's private family life, specifically ensuring that the fiery, burning passion of art never tragically incinerates basic human decency and compassion. Marcus Dupree. Marcus Dupree was once universally regarded as a truly magnificent, awe-inspiring phenomenon within the highly competitive realm of American college football, widely praised and deeply celebrated as an absolute God-given natural talent, possessing absolutely perfect, unmatched speed and an incredibly flawless, powerful physical build. His dramatic, explosive appearances on the green turf immediately captured the undivided, highly enthusiastic attention of the entire nation, rapidly generating massive, sky-high expectations regarding the birth of a truly legendary, once-in-a-generation superstar of the future. Boasting vastly superior, almost superhuman athletic abilities and executing breathtaking, eye-catching plays that completely satisfied even the most demanding spectators, Dupree swiftly transformed into the ultimate idol for a massive generation of young sports enthusiasts during that specific, vibrant era. An incredibly brilliant, seemingly boundless future appeared to be wide open, waiting right before the eager eyes of this highly promising, incredibly young athlete. Tragically, however, the cruel hand of destiny abruptly forced his life to veer sharply into a completely dark, profoundly devastating direction shortly after he suffered a series of incredibly severe, debilitating physical injuries that prematurely and abruptly ended his peak athletic career. The resulting massive, overwhelming mental collapse tragically combined with a deep, inescapable descent into the dangerous path of severe substance abuse completely transformed a once glorious hero of the football field into a deeply troubled man, constantly drowning in dark hallucinations and profoundly erratic, violent tendencies. His highly severe, totally uncontrollable fits of rage tragically led to deeply cruel, highly extreme acts of mistreatment deliberately aimed at his closest confidant within the supposedly safe confines of their shared family home. The monumental, deeply tragic downfall of Dupree not only permanently closed the door on what could have been an incredibly great sporting career, but also violently pushed his personal life into a state of profound, absolute isolation and severe, unyielding condemnation from the broader society. Viewed through the thoughtful, highly empathetic lens of our memory vault, the deeply complicated life of Marcus Dupree represents a profoundly agonizing, heartbreaking tragedy regarding the sheer, terrifying helplessness of a human being when faced with sudden, overwhelming adversity and dark temptations. We firmly believe that the tragic lack of timely, adequate psychological support following his severe career-ending injuries was indeed the primary underlying root cause that pushed many once great athletes down a deeply flawed, highly destructive path. Even so, there is absolutely no possible justification or valid excuse for engaging in behaviors that inflict such deep, profound distress upon another human being. His deeply saddening story serves as a profoundly deep, resonant warning concerning the extreme fragility of public fame and the absolute, undeniable importance of maintaining a strong, unyielding personal fortitude when forced to confront the sudden, deeply devastating storms that life may unexpectedly bring. Major Lance. Major Lance was a truly brilliant shining star of the iconic Chicago soul music scene throughout the incredibly vibrant decades of the 1960s and 1970s, becoming widely famous for his deeply joyful, highly uplifting melodies and an incredibly energetic, massively engaging performance style. His numerous smash hit records once took the massive competitive music charts by absolute storm, effectively bringing immense unbridled joy and profound excitement to millions of passionate listeners who deeply loved the soul music genre. Featuring a highly radiant, infectious smile and an incredible natural charm while performing on stage. Lance was widely considered by many to be the ultimate perfect symbol of lasting success and deep, unyielding optimism. His remarkable, highly celebrated career was the absolute pride of the entire urban music community during that specific time, leaving a profoundly deep, unforgettable mark in the loyal hearts of his dedicated fan base. Despite the fact that he consistently brought such incredibly happy, joyful sounds to the general public, the deeply private personal life of Major Lance was unfortunately completely submerged within an entirely dark, profoundly oppressive, and highly terrifying world. A severe, devastating financial decline, combined lethally with the heavy, uncontrolled abuse of extremely potent illicit substances, completely and drastically altered the core personality of this once talented, highly beloved male singer. His private residence tragically devolved into a highly fearful, intensely terrifying place of confinement for his deeply vulnerable pregnant wife, a place where highly unreasonable, profoundly distressing episodes of severe mistreatment occurred on a deeply frequent, agonizing basis. The truly horrifying situation was only finally brought out into the glaring light of day when formal legal authorities were forced to directly intervene, an event that officially placed a permanent, definitive end to the artistic life of a man who was once considered a monumental musical idol. Based on the firm, unyielding perspective of the dedicated team at our Memory Vault, the deeply tragic case of Major Lance represents a total, absolute collapse of fundamental human character and basic moral decency. We feel an immense, overwhelming sense of deep indignation regarding the incredibly cruel, profoundly callous behavior deliberately directed toward a highly vulnerable woman and the innocent, unborn life she was carrying. The deeply unethical, highly systematic cover-up executed by the people surrounding him, done entirely for the sake of protecting commercial profits, remains a massive, indelible dark stain on the broader music industry of that specific historical period. This deeply heartbreaking story stands as an incredibly powerful, undeniable affirmation that absolutely no amount of magnificent musical talent can ever successfully save or redeem a deeply troubled soul that has been entirely corrupted by a highly reckless, violently uncontrolled lifestyle. D. Clark. D. Clark was once a highly luminous, incredibly bright star within the classic R&B and soul music communities during the 1960s, completely capturing the passionate hearts of the broader public. Largely thanks to his truly immortal, unforgettable smash hit, perfectly titled Raindrops. Blessed with an incredibly sweet, deeply resonant vocal tone and a highly emotional, deeply captivating performance style, he rapidly managed to ascend to the absolute peak of glorious fame, quickly becoming a highly sought-after, incredibly popular name at major prestigious music venues and lounges across the nation. Audiences deeply loved and admired him, not solely because of his incredibly romantic, deeply touching music, but also because of his carefully cultivated image as a highly talented, deeply sensitive artist who constantly delivered gentle, soothing melodies designed to successfully calm and heal the weary souls of his devoted listeners. His highly successful career seemed as though it would genuinely last forever, firmly supported by countless highly valuable performance contracts and the deep, unwavering admiration from millions of dedicated fans spread extensively all across the United States. However, the severe, unexpected economic decline of numerous major recording labels, coupled with highly severe, deeply unforgiving fluctuations within the broader, highly competitive entertainment industry, forcefully pushed D. Clark into a profoundly difficult, deeply impoverished set of circumstances. When his once blinding halo of massive fame inevitably flickered and died out, the resulting deep, lingering bitterness and profound, overwhelming disappointment drastically transformed an artist who was once universally praised into a highly irritable, deeply troubled man who heavily drowned his deep sorrows in excessive amounts of alcohol. The massive, crushing economic pressures and the deeply frustrating dead ends he faced in his daily life inevitably led to highly extreme, profoundly inappropriate behaviors, occurring right within the supposedly safe private confines of his own small family space. The deeply troubling situation reached a highly devastating climax when he completely failed to control his volatile, explosive emotions, subsequently causing incredibly severe, deeply lasting distress to his vulnerable wife while she was holding their small infant, an event that officially permanently marked the tragic end of his once beautiful artistic life. From the deeply thoughtful perspective of our memory vault, the incredibly sad story of D. Clark serves as a highly expensive, profoundly vital lesson regarding the severe, dangerous psychological instability that frequently occurs when a human being is forced to confront the inevitable fading of their once massive fame. We firmly believe that his fundamental tragic inability to gracefully accept the changing nature of the times effectively and completely destroyed the entire future of a genuinely massive talent. It is incredibly, profoundly regrettable that a beautiful voice that once brought so much genuine joy and deep comfort to the world ultimately met its tragic end in a state of profound, absolute isolation and severe public condemnation. This deeply moving story firmly reminds all of us that true, genuine fortitude does not merely reside in how you act when you are standing at the absolute peak of success, but rather, it is entirely defined by exactly how gracefully you maintain your basic human dignity when you are forced to directly face extreme adversity and the harsh, cold oblivion of passing time. Leon Haywood. Leon Haywood successfully and permanently etched his distinguished name into the extensive, vibrant history of modern music, acting as a highly talented, incredibly versatile singer and songwriter within the dynamic funk and soul genres during the unforgettable 1970s. His deeply innovative musical compositions, featuring incredibly catchy, highly engaging melodies, combined seamlessly with a highly liberal, energetic performance style, greatly assisted him in successfully conquering a massive, devoted audience composed of enthusiastic urban music lovers. The highly successful career of Haywood was not merely marked by a continuous string of massive chart-topping smash hits, but also by his incredibly sharp, highly intuitive business acumen in perfectly grasping the shifting trends of the competitive music market, effectively propelling his respected name into the highly exclusive ranks of absolute top-tier premier stars. Devoted audiences fondly remember him as a brilliant, shining symbol of pure artistic creativity, a man who consistently knew exactly how to ignite the blazing fire of musical passion through every single vibrant, highly energetic rhythm performed on massive, globally recognized grand stages. Despite achieving truly brilliant, incredibly resounding success within his professional musical career, the highly private personal life of Leon Haywood unfortunately became deeply entangled in a long, dark series of downward slides caused primarily by profoundly deep, fundamentally irreconcilable conflicts within his marriage. The massive, exhausting pressures resulting from a highly dense, incredibly demanding work schedule perfectly combined with the massively inflated, overgrown ego of a global superstar tragically created a continuously widening, deeply unbridgeable emotional gap between himself and his devoted life partner. Instead of actively attempting to seek genuine mutual understanding and deep emotional connection, he tragically chose to address their complex family issues by utilizing heavy, forceful imposition and exhibiting highly extreme, deeply uncontrolled behaviors, securely hidden behind firmly closed doors. This deeply troubling, highly distressing sequence of events inevitably created a massive, indelible dark stain on his personal life, severely degrading his professional prestige and causing the once flawless image of a highly elegant, deeply sophisticated artist to be severely and permanently damaged in the observant eyes of the general public. Based entirely on the deeply considered perspective of the Our Memory Vault team, the highly unfortunate case of Leon Haywood vividly and clearly reflects the profound, deeply rooted contradiction that often exists between a highly polished public persona and the actual deeply flawed human being existing within private family life. We firmly and resolutely believe that possessing massive, undeniable artistic talent can never under any circumstances be utilized to successfully cover up or excuse profound mistakes made in how one treats their deeply cherished loved ones. The tragic fundamental lack of basic mutual respect, combined with a severe inability to peacefully resolve domestic conflicts, unfortunately transformed what should have been a warm, safe home into a place filled with overwhelming, terrifying pressure. His deeply heartbreaking story serves as a highly clear, undeniable testament, proving that no matter how incredibly brilliant or globally successful a career may be, it all becomes completely, utterly meaningless if the artist tragically loses their fundamental compassion and their basic, minimum standard of human decency toward their very own life partner. Clint Richardson. Clint Richardson was once a highly prominent, deeply respected face within the highly competitive world of professional sports, widely known and deeply admired for his incredibly fierce, unyielding fighting spirit and a deeply ingrained ethos of dedicating his absolute all to the game. On the highly demanding, fiercely competitive playing court, he acted as a true, relentless warrior, always putting forth a continuous, non-stop effort to successfully secure glorious victories and bring immense, boundless pride to his devoted team and his highly passionate fan base. The incredibly successful sports career of Richardson was the direct, undeniable result of an intensely rigorous, highly grueling training process, which greatly helped him to firmly assert a highly solid, unquestionable position in the loyal hearts of those who truly loved and deeply respected this highly demanding sport. The truly glorious, deeply unforgettable moments he created on the competitive playing field successfully brought his distinguished name much closer to the admiring public and left a profoundly deep, indelible mark within the extensive, rich history of professional athletics. However, when the bright, glaring lights of the massive sports arenas eventually began to fade and his professional athletic career inevitably reached its final, unavoidable conclusion, Clint Richardson was tragically forced to desperately struggle with severe, heavily burdensome psychological crises while attempting to transition back into normal, everyday civilian life. The profound, deeply disorienting sense of loss upon facing a brutally harsh reality, combined intimately with the massive, invisible pressures lingering from his past, highly glorious fame significantly and negatively altered the core mentality of a former athlete who was once so highly respected by the masses. The immense, heavily repressed tensions that had been steadily accumulating over a long period of time tragically erupted into highly regrettable, deeply extreme behaviors that were unfortunately directed at his highly vulnerable family members. The deeply troubling situation, once it was fully and publicly exposed, delivered a massive, devastating blow to his carefully cultivated public image, completely transforming a once beloved sports idol into an individual who was subjected to extremely harsh, highly critical public condemnation from broader society. The dedicated analytical team at our Memory Vault observes that the deeply complex life of Clint Richardson serves as a profoundly vivid, highly realistic picture, perfectly reflecting the deeply dark, often ignored side of the highly difficult career transition process specifically meant for elite top-tier athletes. We firmly and steadfastly maintain that the tragic lack of adequate proper psychological preparation and the severe absence of necessary social support structures following a professional retirement are indeed the deeply rooted sources of countless heartbreaking personal tragedies. Even so, those immense undeniable difficulties can absolutely never serve as a valid, acceptable reason to ever tolerate excuse or completely ignore actions that bring profound, lasting distress and harm to other vulnerable human beings. This deeply moving, highly cautionary story serves as a profoundly deep, resonant reminder, emphasizing the absolute, undeniable importance of properly managing deep personal emotions and actively seeking correct, appropriate professional assistance when one is forced to directly face massive, highly overwhelming turning points within the deeply complex journey of every single human life. Syl Johnson. Syl Johnson stands as one of the absolutely monumental, towering names within the highly respected realms of classic blues and soul music, becoming incredibly famous for his deeply powerful, highly resonant vocal tone and a highly captivating performance style that carried a profoundly rich, deeply unique personal identity. His highly influential, deeply memorable songs not only accurately reflected the profound, deeply lingering anxieties of everyday life, but they also successfully brought a deeply profound, highly resonant sense of emotional empathy to a massive, highly devoted audience of passionate music lovers. Throughout an incredibly long, highly enduring professional career, Johnson successfully built an incredibly valuable, highly cherished treasure trove of musical art, earning immense profound praise from highly strict industry professionals and garnering the utmost deepest respect from his extensive network of musical peers. He proudly represented an entire generation of truly genuine, highly dedicated artists, individuals who significantly contributed to laying a highly solid, totally unshakable foundation for the massive continuous development of black music across the United States. However, strictly hidden, deeply behind that highly proud, incredibly impressive musical career, the highly private marital life of Syl Johnson was unfortunately deeply submerged in a profoundly suffocating, highly oppressive atmosphere of extreme control and deeply severe, fundamentally unbridgeable emotional fractures. A profound, deeply unsettling paranoia regarding his own absolute personal power within the confines of his family tragically transformed him into a highly cold, deeply calculating individual who sought absolutely every possible method to severely restrict and heavily impose upon his highly vulnerable wife. The highly extreme, deeply restrictive measures he utilized in order to maintain his absolute total control inevitably created a deeply heavy, profoundly terrifying atmosphere of fear right inside the supposedly safe confines of their very own shared home. This deeply disturbing, highly harsh reality was only much later brought to light through carefully preserved archival documents and highly detailed personal records, a revelation that caused the once pristine image of a brilliant, highly celebrated blues artist to completely, totally collapse in the highly observant eyes of the general public. Viewed through the deeply thoughtful, highly analytical perspective of our Memory Vault, The incredibly sad story of Syl Johnson serves as a profoundly painful, highly aching lesson regarding the severe, deeply toxic, dictatorial tendencies that unfortunately often arise from unchecked personal power. We firmly and resolutely believe that the deeply flawed application of highly controlling societal habits directly into the highly sensitive private realm of family life is an absolutely fatal, incredibly destructive mistake that completely annihilates any possibility of genuine human happiness. The profound, immense emotional weight of blues music may certainly be capable of beautifully conveying the deep collective sorrow of humanity, but it can absolutely never, under any circumstances, wash away or excuse the profound callousness found within highly inappropriate, deeply controlling, everyday behavior. His deeply cautionary story firmly and unequivocally asserts that mutual, wavering respect is indeed the most solid, absolutely necessary foundation required to successfully maintain any meaningful human relationship, and that absolutely no amount of massive, undeniable talent can ever allow a person to safely stand outside the boundaries of fundamental basic moral standards. O.V. Wright. O.V. Wright was once universally revered and highly honored as one of the absolutely greatest, most profoundly soulful vocalists of his generation, standing out incredibly due to his highly unique, unmatched ability to convey deeply profound, highly resonant emotions through every single melancholic, deeply touching melody found within the deep soul music genre. Possessing a highly powerful, incredibly authoritative voice and an intensely fierce, deeply passionate emotional resonance, he successfully touched the absolute deepest core of millions of devoted fans' hearts through a vast array of truly classic, timeless musical recordings. The highly celebrated professional career of Wright was an incredibly brilliant, highly euphoric journey across massive, highly prestigious grand stages, places where he literally poured his entire heart and soul into every single song in order to beautifully praise both deep, passionate love and profound, lingering sorrow. I was widely considered to be an absolute, irreplaceable cultural treasure of Southern American music, a deeply gifted man who possessed the incredibly rare, almost magical ability to transform absolutely any simple melody into a truly profound, deeply moving, emotional hymn. Tragically, however, the highly complex, deeply troubled personal life of O.V. Wright ultimately plummeted into a profoundly heartbreaking, deeply agonizing tragedy, largely caused by a highly destructive whirlwind of severe, prolonged addiction and deeply severe, constantly lingering financial decay. The massive crushing pressures stemming from incredibly long, virtually non-stop performance schedules disastrously combined with the absolute terrifying devastation caused by the heavy abuse of highly potent illicit substances completely and totally distorted the fundamental core personality of this once brilliant, highly talented artist. When the incredibly severe, highly agonizing cravings for narcotics severely tormented his physical body, he could no longer maintain any semblance of basic human reason, tragically turning his supposedly safe family home into a deeply dark place where highly extreme, profoundly distressing mistreatment occurred, specifically directed at his highly vulnerable wife in a desperate bid to forcefully seize their absolute final remaining pennies meant for basic human survival. The deeply unethical, highly systematic cover-up executed by the major recording labels of that specific era only served to make his deeply personal tragedy even more profound and inescapable right before his deeply troubled life finally concluded in a state of absolute total physical ruin and severe illness. According to the deeply considered, highly empathetic perspective of the dedicated team at our Memory Vault, the profoundly sad, deeply tragic story of O.V. Wright serves as one of the absolutely most heartbreaking, deeply indisputable proofs regarding the absolute total annihilation that severe substance addiction inflicts upon a human being. We feel an immense, deeply overwhelming sense of profound sorrow when we observe how such a massive, undeniably great musical talent ultimately used his own hands to completely, totally suffocate his own life, simultaneously causing indescribable, deeply profound pain for his deeply devoted loved ones. The deeply troubling reality that massive commercial organizations deliberately chose to tolerate and effectively excuse highly inappropriate, deeply harmful behaviors merely for the sake of financial profit remains an incredibly dark, highly condemnable aspect of the broader entertainment industry during that specific historical period. His deeply devastating story serves as a highly powerful, absolutely glaring warning specifically for all future generations regarding the incredibly terrifying, highly destructive power of narcotics, a truly horrific substance that has the terrifying potential to transform an absolute musical genius into a person who actively destroys the basic happiness of his very own family. Garnet Mimms. Garnet Mimms was once an absolutely illustrious, highly revered name within the highly vibrant soul music community during the deeply influential 1960s, becoming incredibly famous on a massive global scale thanks to his truly immortal, undeniably classic smash hit, prominently titled Cry Baby. Possessing a highly powerful, incredibly resonant vocal tone that was deeply rich in raw, unfiltered emotion, perfectly paired with a highly passionate, deeply enchanting performance style, he rapidly managed to conquer the dedicated hearts of millions of passionate music lovers all across the entire world. The highly successful, deeply celebrated career of Mimms serves as a profound, undeniable testament to a truly genuine, absolutely authentic musical talent, a deeply gifted man who successfully delivered incredibly deep, highly soothing melodies that managed to gently touch the absolute deepest, most intimate corners of the listener's very soul. Devoted audiences were once incredibly, deeply admiring of him, not solely because of his highly resounding, truly massive successes on highly prestigious competitive music charts, but also due to his carefully crafted, highly appealing public image as an incredibly emotional, deeply passionate, and highly enthusiastic artist. However, hidden securely and completely out of sight behind the blinding, highly radiant halo of those beautifully sad, deeply melancholic love songs, the highly private marital life of Garnet Mimms tragically harbored a profoundly dark, deeply hidden corner characterized entirely by intense, highly suffocating control. An incredibly extreme, highly irrational form of deep jealousy combined seamlessly with a highly toxic, deeply ingrained desire for absolute total domination within the highly private confines of his family space completely transformed him into a highly cold, deeply calculating individual who actively created incredibly stifling, highly oppressive behavioral rules strictly for his highly vulnerable wife. Instead of actively working to build a truly peaceful, deeply comforting family home, he tragically chose to heavily apply incredibly extreme, highly isolating measures, simultaneously inflicting profoundly heavy, deeply exhausting mental pressure upon his partner whenever the slightest hint of a domestic conflict occurred. This deeply disturbing, highly troubling truth was only finally exposed to the broader public many long years later through carefully preserved personal memoirs and highly detailed family documents, a shocking revelation that left the general public completely stunned and totally bewildered by the absolute stark contradiction that existed between the highly emotional artist they saw on the grand stage and the profoundly controlling, deeply flawed reality of the actual man. Viewed carefully through the deeply analytical, highly reflective lens of the dedicated team at our Memory Vault. The highly unfortunate story of Garnet Mimms serves as a profoundly deep, highly important lesson regarding the dangerous, deceptive camouflage that artistic talent can sometimes provide for a deeply flawed human character. We firmly and resolutely believe that incredibly beautiful, highly poetic melodies designed to praise the power of true love can absolutely never under any circumstances be utilized to effectively conceal a fundamental lack of basic respect or to hide the profound, deeply lasting psychological distress inflicted upon a deeply devoted life partner. The truly immense, undeniable power of beautiful music only possesses genuine, lasting value when it exists in absolute perfect harmony with fundamental kindness and basic human decency within everyday real-world life. The massive, deeply spectacular collapse of his highly carefully constructed public image serves as a powerful permanent reminder that maintaining mutual unwavering respect is indeed the absolute most solid, highly sustainable foundation required for absolutely any meaningful human relationship, and that absolutely no amount of massive, undeniable fame can ever successfully wash away the profound mistakes made in how a person chooses to treat their deeply cherished, closest loved ones. We sincerely hope that through this deeply revealing journey, reviewing these 21 remarkable stories, you have successfully gained highly multidimensional, profoundly deep perspectives regarding the incredibly dark side of massive fame, as well as the absolute undeniable value of fundamental kindness in our everyday lives. Thank you so very much for faithfully accompanying us throughout the entirety of this video. We genuinely wish you and your family a truly wonderful time filled with complete relaxation, deep peace, and absolute happiness. If you truly love and appreciate the content produced by our channel, please do not forget to press the subscribe button, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss any of the highly special upcoming videos from our memory vault. Goodbye for now, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.